Hello, hello, there we go. How is everybody doing? Just gonna let some people jump in here real quick. I'm just gonna go over what we went over a little bit yesterday, but I know it was a 7.5 hour video, so tons of people obviously aren't gonna watch that entire video. So I just want to do a 10, 15 minute or an hour long stream, so maybe people watch this. But wanna once again reiterate how important this repository system is gonna be coming up here. Just gonna let people jump in for a minute. Hope everyone had a good day today. Clown, thank you. My mom's doing a lot better. Thank you for asking, my friend. Alrighty. So I'm just letting people jump in for a minute. Give everybody a minute or two. Maybe I'll go pack this bong for 1 second. Nah, it's not gonna be another 6 hour one, man. I gotta go to bed by 1 today. There's no fucking way I'm doing another 7 hour stream for this one. But I just want to get more into this. This is a massive, massive deal, and maybe me and Randall covered it for a quick minute last night, but there was so much to get into yesterday, and I was all over the place. I was getting off topic like crazy, so I just want to get into this for a minute or two here. So we're going to pull up the sketch pad. Also, I was just in Pantheon's thing, and apparently this is an ordeal, or people are excited about this, and I don't know why. Apparently Lou's talking about talking about it, the classics, making a big deal out of nothing here. So apparently this Australian bank collapsed, and people are trying to make a big deal about this Australian bank, Volt, which in all actuality this is literally the most irrelevant thing in the entire planet. Like, this is what Volt is a digital startup bank company. They're Australia's first online only bank. They were going through fundraising. They couldn't do it. They just couldn't keep up. What they tried to do, and the reason that they failed, is they tried to get into mortgages. And once they got into mortgages, they didn't have the stuff, and what do you know? It ended up collapsing. So I'm already hearing people going, this is great stuff, and fucking blah, 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 and dominoes are falling. I just want everyone to understand that this Australian Volt Bank going down has nothing to do with us or anything else. It was literally just a shitty startup company of a bank, and this happened to their rivals. If you read this article, it actually happened to their rival, Xinjiang, whatever the hell this is, which collapsed in December 2020. This has already been going on, so don't make a massive deal about this. This is literally the smallest bank ever. Who cares? So, moving on to what actually matters here. Now, this repository system. We'll get into this here in a second too. What the hell that thing? Sorry, I got too many tabs. 2 seconds. Always there's this stuff. All right, here we go. All right, so this repository system. If you guys look at the stock market right now, a lot of the problems are because you have self-reporting. Now, the self-reporting was allowed because you had the OAT system. The OAT system here. The OAT system had a lot of self-reporting, and there was very, very little checking from the regulators, as you guys could see through this GameStop report. As you guys saw with FINRA, FINRA is basically pointless, as we all learn more and more and more. Like I said, the more we learn, thank you guys all for about the stream here. The more we end up realizing just truly how pointless and ridiculous this is. You cannot have criminals, because in the end of the day, let's be real, this allowed criminals to make up their own fucking numbers. And that's exactly what they did. Then you would have, as we pulled up this report, you would have FINRA who would do oral exams over the phone. They would call them up and say, hey, this is the best. They thought that this was the best way. They'd call them up on the phone and say, hey, those numbers that you guys written down, are they correct? Yep. And then they're self-reporting them. And now you know why all this shit got so fucked up. All these numbers are ridiculous. You have stocks that have who knows how many shares, like I said, truly are inside of this continuous net settlement program. I don't even want to know. Now, if you go over to ISDA, currently, it's the same way as the OATS system. Everything's basically self-reported, and this is why a lot of people are like, why are the banks doing this to themselves? If this is their infinite glitch, if this is their way out, if this is all as amazing as you say it is, why would they fuck themselves right now? And I'm going to tell you why they're fucking themselves. ISDA, the difference between the OATS system and ISDA, OATS was only the United States, only in the U.S. It was done by FINRA, and it was their auditing system, right? Well, this system's gone. Well, it's about to be gone. It's getting replaced by the CAT system, which is the one I keep telling you about, one of the 3 steps. Now, the 3 things that we're waiting for that I've been talking about, you need phase 6, which we'll get into again quick, and that involves ISDA. You're going to get this repository system, which what this would equal is pretty much the CAT system, okay? This is the CAT system now in the derivatives market. The derivatives market currently is like the OATS system. It's unregulated. And on top of that, it's way worse. You have people that are throwing around contracts, doing this, doing that. They'll say it's this, and by the time it gets to these other regulators in these other countries, by the time they get to that, files have been changed. Locations have been changed. Nothing matches up. Everybody worldwide right now is getting so fucked up. The United States is doing this worldwide. And now everybody worldwide is going, okay, what the fuck is happening? You have world banks come together and say, we need to make this. So the people that are making this initiative, the people that are making this system, is the world banks. It's all the central banks around the world, because this is becoming such a problem that you have these, like I told people, these family offices, you guys, are a massive deal. Family offices in the United States have $7.6 trillion. They are unregulated. Think about that. They're unregulated. So you have this unregulated, and most of this stuff is done through ISDA inside with these family offices. That is why you continuously see, like even in this lawsuit, our Huang, you continuously see we're representing family offices. The firm is representing a family office in how they're mishandling a bank. Like I always tell you guys, it's these banks doing these master agreements, as you see right here. This is the agreement. They're doing master agreements with market makers and with hedge funds to give them fake shares, create liquidity that should not be there. So, I guess that this is their unlimited glitch, get out of jail free card right now. The amount of shit that they're able to do through ISDA because of the credit support annexes don't need to be deposited currently. Like I said, it's a glitch that they can keep on going and going and going. Well, currently, so right, like I said, in the stock market, you're going to have the CAT system. In ISDA, you're now going to have this repository system. So, instead of right now, the main problem inside of ISDA is you have the DTCC, right, is in charge of it. We already know who the DTC board members are. Their board members are banks and market makers. Now, when you read this GameStop report, the conflict of interest here, like I said, the main reason And my main takeaway from this report, and the main reason why I say people should be fucking rioting over this, is if you go ahead and you read this report and you look at who's in charge and what happened, and you read about the $21.9 billion, and you start to piece everything together. That means back in this day, like I said, Robinhood was going to collapse. Citadel should have collapsed that day. But the DTCC, who has people at Citadel on the DTCC, you have people at Virtue on the DTCC. That A is a conflict of interest. Why? Because of what just happened back in January. Robinhood pretty much could have destroyed Citadel because of their payment for order flow rebates. If you guys read this thing, one of the main things they talk about are the fees, the requirements from the DTCC, and then they talk about the fees from Robinhood and the way that they actually calculate the fees and how it's different from other companies that do it at the time. Now, if you guys look at Citadel, it shows that Citadel. I'll pull up their emails real quick because they talk about in these emails how. Give me 1 second. There's a stupid ass truck. It'll take me 2 seconds. They talk about in these emails how they didn't know about these fees, and Ken Griffin needs to talk to them about payment for order flow. Yeah, but I could just do Ken. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't need to show you right now. So what it said is they need to get a hold of Ken because he needs to get a hold of them about payment for order flow. Because at the time, Ken Griffin, that, like he said before, oh, it's a cost of business for me. I don't care if we get rid of payment for order flow. And it actually was. In January, it cost of business for him that he could not afford. So what he had to do was call Robinhood, email Robinhood, get a hold of them and say, you guys need to do the PCO, move it over. You guys need to clear what we owe you for payment for order flow. We need to renegotiate that because we cannot afford that right now. And instead of us all going under, you need to waive that. And in return, this is why it's a conflict of interest with the DTCC. In return, we will waive the billions of dollars in your guys' fees that you would have owed the DTCC. And that alone would have put you under. And if you guys come read these emails, these people, Robinhood should have never been able to be allowed to be created. The fact that this entire report pretty much tells you that these brokers are able to come up, not truly have the requirements needed to, whatever they need to do, the liquidity, they can fail, and there's always a bailout, and they don't technically need to make sure that they have the backup to support whatever they do. And that alone should be fucked up. But if you guys come in here and you start reading these emails, they're about quarter down here. Probably already freaking passed them. It's driving me nuts. But either way, so they end up saying, like I said, well, we'll go ahead and we'll waive those DTCC fees and in return, you waive our payment for order flow fees. So basically, it was a giant handshake, a giant circle jerk with each other about all these fucking things. Like I said, this report, people should be going fucking ballistic over. This report should never, ever, 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 ever stop being talked about. Every day, people, the same people, YouTube, every YouTuber, you should talk about this every day. I don't give a fuck until you're blue in the face and until it doesn't matter. This can never, ever stop being talked about. This is your government telling you, A, we were right about everything, and B, the biggest financial crime in history, billions of dollars was stolen from us. Could you guys imagine if a blue-collar person stole this much money? $10 billion. That would be on every single fucking news channel. That would have been talked about as the biggest crime in history. That person would have been known as the biggest criminal ever. Think of what they would have done. And what do these guys do? They do it to us and laugh about it. Now watch this. This is what we're talking about here with these fees. There's fees here. You got the NSCC fees. You got risk fees. They didn't even know about risk fees. So when they were getting up and going and all this stuff, they didn't even have their risk covered. Like I said, it's corruption down the fucking board. When you come down here, I know I'm getting real close to those emails I want to show you. But here you go as well. Virtue Finance, exactly like Wired was saying. Not only did these guys need to forgive him, the DTCC, the Citadel, Robinhood, not only did they all need to fucking do these handshakes, even with doing all those handshakes, it still wasn't enough. They needed to call over Virtue and get Virtue involved as well. Like I said, what is going on is unreal, man. We're literally against everybody. And nobody's sitting here. Everybody that's read this report just skips over this Virtue part involving all of this. Citadel couldn't handle the order flow. And they sat there and bragged about to the United States and everybody else. Man, we're so proud of ourselves for January because we were able to process and handle all that order flow that day. And this tells you that they weren't able to handle that. And they fucking had to call up their buddies over at Virtue. And Virtue had to step in. And Virtue even had to help out. They had to stop routing to... You guys, they had to stop routing to Citadel. Because Citadel couldn't handle the flow. The payment, they could not keep it going. They were dead. You guys, January, we killed Citadel. You killed them. They should have been fucking dead. And instead, they had to fucking call up their buddies, get Virtue involved. Virtue had to come and help out. Then they had to, after they caught up the orders with Virtue, they had to, again, see, right after Virtue came in, got up, they got the orders kind of caught up, went over to the PCO. Again, they had to fucking stop routing orders to Virtue. So they sat there and one after the other, boom, one more market maker do this. Help us, help us, help us. Like I said, it was literally a giant circle jerk handshake between all of these people when they all should have went down. We won the game that day. We won. They literally admitted that we won. So, now, before I get back out of track here, back to this and the repository system and why this matters so fucking much. You're going to have this, the repository system, and the CAT system. These three things. Now, a lot of people are sitting here because I say Phase 6 is going to happen September 1st. Just because September 1st is going to happen, it does not necessarily mean the price will skyrocket because, like I said, I'm going to show you the mechanics. Just because one part of the wheel is kind of fixed, you still need the other two to make sure you see the full effect. So don't, when I show you all this stuff, don't just, oh my god, we got to go fucking open options for September 1st. And I know a lot of people are doing that. Just don't do that. There's a lot more stuff that needs to happen, but this is shit that applies that pressure that we need to be applied to market makers, to banks, for all this shit to finally start coming to an end. So, right now, like I said, ISDA, you got a market maker who's going to go to a bank. They do a trade. Their trades are not called trades like ours. They're master agreements. That is what they call their trade. So every time you sit there and see master agreement, and people are already freaking out when they hear that, all that means is a bank and a market maker made a trade. They wrote it down on a piece of paper, the terms to that trade. And that's all the master agreement is. They don't use Robinhood and Webull and all these stupid ass platforms we use. They write it down on paper. That's it. It's very, very simple. So don't overthink this. Now, currently, you have attached to this, it's just another piece of paper stapled to the master agreement. It's called a credit support annex. All that this does is show, let's say that I need 10,000 shares, and it's going to cost me $100,000. Let's just say some penny stock, whatever we need to do just to make it very simple. All that this credit support annex does is say, I have the collateral, I have the money, I have whatever, the assets to back up this $100,000, okay? The problem is currently in ISDA is they do not need to deposit money here. It's just a credit support annex. It's just a piece of paper. So they can sit there and use the same collateral, okay? They can use this same this $100,000 worth of collateral. Well, they can use this over and over right now, okay? They can attach this collateral to as many credit support annexes as they want, and it does not cost them money. So this is why they can open this shit. This is why they can do all these things with the swaps. This is why every time you see these giant problems inside of the system, it's always done through ISDA agreements, through swaps transactions from banks. And they either do it with family offices or they do it with market makers. And why people that are watching this, if this is the first time, when you think of ISDA, think about it like this. You have the top of the food chain here, the top of the snake, the head of the snake. That's why I always say it's called the derivatives market, the ISDA market. Everything done in ISDA affects everything below it, but nothing below it can ever affect ISDA. Right below ISDA, you have the thing we always talk about, the OTC market. This is where they sit there and can fuck all of retail's orders up and basically control price action. This is how they create synthetics. Okay? So think about it this way. This is how they create synthetics. And this is with the CNS too. Oh. And then the OTC market, what the purpose of that is how they control price. Okay? So this creates your float, this creates your supply, and as we know, it works off supply and demand. So what they can do is create as much supply as they want through the derivatives. They can create demand because they can sit there and with the OAT system, they can move it around. They can push it off T+2, T+35. They can do a failure to delivers. They can do all sorts of things. So they can control price action because you do not see that data because it does not hit. The main thing about the OTC market is it does not hit the public data feed. Public data feed. And if it doesn't hit the public data feed, you do not see it on your charts. You do not see it when you do TA. So you're doing TA on about 20% of the actual data. And so when people go, why the hell didn't my TA work? It's because you didn't see the other 80%. Now, this is your stock market right here. So like I said, this controls this. This controls this. This also controls this. This can never affect the derivatives market. This can never affect the derivatives market. So, oh shoot, I'm so sorry, buddy. I'm sorry, I didn't know you're there. So, cutting off the head of the snake, affecting the snake, this will make it, like I said, this gets rid of this synthetics. This affects the synthetic glitch. This affects the supply glitch to where now you should start seeing way more true price action. This is why this is a very important step. Now, coming back to how ISDA works. So, when we go back and we look at this trade, okay, currently, when this trade is done, you have the DTCC regulates it, right? Think about how fucked up this is. The DTCC is the bankers. Well, guess who's writing these? So here's your conflict of interest. Number 1. I'm going to show you the conflict of interest in ISDA right now, okay? So here's your conflict of interest number 1. Your regulators, the DTCC, they write the ISDA contracts. They approve everything. So they're going to approve every single thing no matter what because they're the regulators and they're the cops. Who the fuck's going to tell on them? Nobody. That's why inside of this market, to show you the power of the derivatives market, like I said, you have $2 quadrillion. Quadrillion dollars in the derivatives market. That's in fucking insane. If you come over here, so conflict of interest number 1, you have the DTCC. Writes it and regulates it. They're the police and they write it. And they're gonna, like I said, they're making money every time they write one of these. So they're gonna say yes to everything no matter what, even if there's not the fucking right proper support behind it. This is why ISDA got so out of control, because there's no one here to regulate this. And to make it worse, this master agreement is done on paper. I've shown you guys Iron Mountain data fires. There's been 49 data center fires by Iron Mountain, and they've all been linked to these banks because it's these master agreements. When these master agreements get too out of hand, they literally burn them to the fucking ground. And there's zero trace that this ever took place. And to prove to you guys, just real quick, I'm not lying, and this is all was talked about in court over stock 1. They can sit there, and this shows you with sham resets and sham closeouts, they are literally able to close out and give the impression of closeouts on short positions. They can literally give the impression that they closed out a short sale without covering a short sale through this system. This is why I tell you guys this is a massive deal. So, what's going to happen with phase 6? It's going to I'm going to go down each one of these things and show you how it takes away these conflict of interest. Phase 6 takes away conflict of interest number 1. The DTCC. What this does, Phase 6 now is going to get rid of your credit support annexes, you guys. That's gone. Which means your unlimited master agreements, your unlimited supply glitch will be done. Because you now need to deposit money. You need to deposit money every single time you open a master agreement from now on. On top of that, it's not just the DTCC regulating it. You have the SEC will be regulating it, and you will have the World Bank, I think it's IMW or whatever, World Bank will be monitoring this as well. So that means worldwide, it's no longer going to be regulated just from people in the United States. It's going to be regulated by the entire world. You're going to have now the repository system. This is going to be the biggest step of them all. Right now, like I said, this is going to be their CAT system. What the CAT system and what this repository system is going to do is going to be their new auditing system. You guys, for the first time in history of life, ISDA is going to have, it's going to be audited. It's going to be tracked. Like I said, none of these agreements are tracked right now, you guys. So when people are sitting there fucking over other countries up, it's not being tracked. These other countries can't tell. They don't know. They don't have access to the information because the only people that have access to the information are the people that wrote the master agreement, which is the bank and the market maker themselves. So they're not going to give that information up because they're the ones that are fucking over the other countries. Like I said, It's constantly conflict of interest because you have the DTCC allowing everything. Like I said, these two things will take 100% of power away from the DTCC. You're going to have, instead of it being, now people are going, well, maybe you don't know. You guys, you can't have the corruption you are going to have. In order to have the corruption that you guys think, or maybe thinking is possible, you need the entire world, because they all have access to this information. The entire world now needs to be complicit on every single time you do an illegal thing, break a trade. That is why this is a big deal. Because even if one or two or three people that have access to this see this information and they flag it, it's going to be seen, it's going to be brought up, and it's going to be dealt with. World, like I said, you cannot have your integrity of the United States stock market through ISDA be destroyed, and they will now be able to audit you. You can't get around it. And if you read this repository system, this is mandatory. You cannot be part of ISDA when this is launched without being signed up and being inside of this system. Like I said, there is no more family offices being unregulated. None of that. If they're not regulated now in the stock market, they will be regulated throughout ISDA. So not only does this hurt market makers, these two things, this hurts market makers, this hurts banks. We'll just say this. This hurts the DTCC, so it hurts regulators. This hurts all of our opponents. And this also hurts, for the first time ever, family offices. You guys, the second these family offices came into existence, they got around all of the Dodd-Frank. All of the Dodd-Frank ruling. They just made a family office and got around it all. So nothing was fixed. All the thing Gary Gensler's known for, being involved in the Dodd-Frank, they literally, the next day, made a family office and got around his entire Dodd-Frank ruling. I fucking hate Hester Pierce. She's a pile of shit. She's literally a fucking criminal. But one thing she did right is she was part of the fucking getting into Dodd-Frank Act. And even she admitted it was so poorly written and half-assed it didn't even solve the problem. Well, if the people who are writing these rules are telling you they don't solve anything, then what are we doing here? So, buddy, you gotta stop whining. Like, I don't know what you need, buddy. Sit in my lap for a second here, Christ. All right. So, these changes are gonna affect. This is why we're going to This is why we're gonna squeeze. This is why everybody's so. But they're gonna keep making more rules. They're gonna keep pushing this off. They cannot do that, you guys. For the first time in history, it's going to be regulated by the world, not just the DTCC, not just these corrupt piles of shits, not just everyone who's sitting here involving conflict of interest. These rules, all of this fixes the conflict of interest down the line. And this is the stuff we need to fix. This is stuff we need to focus on. We cannot make changes. Like I said, you can make as many changes down here as you want. You can. We can sit there and do as much changes, whatever. It doesn't matter. Until these two aspects are fixed, this is never going to be fixed. And this, for the first time ever, is going to change the top of the head. Like I said, this is the only thing that matters, is cutting the top of the head off the snake. This, like I said, the repository system will be monitored by the World Bank. Now, if you come down here and look around this system is no fuck around. It's not like the United States system. There's no fuck around with this. This is going to revolutionize. And I'm not just saying this. This is going to revolutionize. And that is the purpose of this. the way that regulation is done. And that is, they literally say that in this entire thing. The entire purpose of this is to revolutionize the nature of how things are regulated, because it makes it so you cannot, you would have to have so many people involved in the criminality for it to possibly take place that it cannot happen. You have too many eyes, too many ears, too many things, too many people with access to let the corruption, it just can't happen. And like I said, this is going to be a huge step going forward. There's no way to fucking get around this bullshit. There's no way that you can do something now when this will come full into effect in 2023. Now I want people, because there are people that are going to go, oh my god, we have to wait a little bit longer. You guys, I told you we'll probably have to wait a little longer for quite a while now. You're going to have to wait a little longer. Like I said, we're trying to climb Mount Everest. You have the regulators, every one of them. You're going up against FINRA. You're going up against the DTCC, the SEC. You're going up against politicians. You're going up against judges. You're going up against banks. You're going up against family offices. You're going up against hedge funds. You're going up against market makers. You're going up against normal citizens that are fucking shorting the stock. You're going up against so many people. It's going to take a while. It's gonna, but it will be worth it in the end. I promise you, this will all be worth it in the end. And if you guys, if we keep pushing things, if we keep informing the lower class, the middle class, if we keep waking people up to this, if we keep screaming this, hey, we know what the fuck's going on. We keep showing the world this. They can't ignore it forever. They can't. Like I told you guys last night, if you watch the stream, there's only so many options out for them. Either they pay us, either they don't, and this continuously happens, and we get another one of these, and people start pulling out of the stock market. You guys need to understand, you might need to take fucking drastic steps. With what we're up against, with what they're able to do, with what kind of criminality that they pulled right in front of our face. They pulled the biggest financial heist of $10 billion. They pulled the biggest financial heist in the history of the world. $10 billion. And nobody cares. Nobody even knows. It's not even talked about. It's not even on mainstream media. People gave it 10 minutes. People made a YouTube video on it for 5 seconds and said what happened. And people were like, what the fuck? And then 2 days later, people already moved on to other things. You already have people moving on to the next YouTube video. Oh, like I said, I saw Lou's thing and he's worrying about this Australian thing. And then you look into the fucking bank and it's happened before and had nothing to do with this scenario. Like I said, we need to, like I said, I don't sit there and only blame the YouTubers. It's on us as well. We need to take responsibility on who we're allowing to give that information and not double check that information. Because like I said, it took me 1 second. Took me 1 second, dude. I didn't even know about this until I went and joined Pantheon's stream about this bank. This Volt bank that everybody was going crazy about. Like, and then you find out within 1 second of this, it was the smallest bank. This happened before, and it has nothing to do with us. They just couldn't get the fucking you guys, this is right here. I'm going to tell you why they failed. Right there. Guess what? They started writing fucking mortgages. What is happening in the housing market right now? Oh, that's right. The fucking market's going to collapse. Nobody's taking out loans. Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, all the major banks, what did they do? They started firing people in their mortgage department because no one's taking out loans. So they decided to go into the loan and mortgage game at the absolute worst time possible. And they got fucked from it. That's exactly what happened. That's all. Move on. You know what I'm saying? We got to learn the clickbait, the bullshit. People saying this is from this. It's all because of this. No, it's not. If we crashed a bank, I would have told you that, and I would have been so fucking jacked up. It's not even funny. But like I said, man, the fun, the little things. Like I said, we got to start looking at the bigger picture. Grow. This is the shit matters. We can sit here and we can wait, because this is going to happen regardless. The rest of the world is saying we need this done. To put this into perspective, to make people go, okay, whatever, they're just going to get away with this. This was voted on. This repository system was voted on, you guys. It was voted on by the entire world. The United States said no, probably. I can almost promise you. The United States said no. But guess what? The rest of the fucking world said yes. The rest of the world's looking at the United States like, we're going to hold you accountable at this point. Go fuck yourself. They already changed, like I said, the status of the dollar globally. You saw that changed a couple weeks ago. The rest of the world's waking up to us fucking strong-arming them, destroying them. As Randall showed you guys last night in the video, we're literally crashing economies and then wagering and taking out swaps against their currency because we know their currency is going to drop. So then we bet against their currency falling. Well, guess how we bet against their currency and do all that bullshit? It's done through ISDA, you guys. That is why the rest of the world goes, fuck yourself, we're going to start regulating this. It has to be done. We're at the point where there's no holding back. You have destroyed the entire world. Ask yourself this question. How can every country in the entire world be broke? How is that possible? Think about that truly. Every single country in the world is broke. Every single country in the world has a massive debt that they owe other people. So, in other words, the entire world owes everybody else and just does handshakes and handshakes. Like I said, when you guys realize that dollar, that piece of paper that we fucking work our ass off our life for, is literally, in reality, worth as much and truly is a fucking piece of paper, same as a fucking bill out of a Monopoly board. It has no value. There's nothing backing it. And on top of that, they keep on printing more dollars by the second. Billions and billions and billions and billions are getting printed by the second. You guys are looking at the reverse repos. You guys are seeing it hit $2.2 trillion. They are bailing these fucking cocksuckers out every single day through this reverse repo without even having to go to Congress. Like I said, you guys, I'm trying to show you how insane this task is because you have the feds helping them at every possible fucking turn. And guess what the feds have that we cannot fucking stop? They have the ability to create money. Thomas Jefferson, all of these people said this was going to happen. It's fucking happening. It's happened. It's happened for how many years, and we're just now waking up to this shit. I said this is all truly, if you take a step back and look at this is the type of shit you read about in like fucking movies, video games, books. This government stole from their people. They stole everything. They told them that they could play this fucking, they could make it if they played this game, because that's what this is. It's a game called the stock market. These people found out how to win, and then the day they won, they walked over and unplugged the fucking system. You guys won the lottery. Right here, you won the lottery, and the game stopped. This report is literally called Game Stopped. They stopped the game. They fucking pulled the plug and said, you know what? we're going to plug a Game Shark in. We're going to put our Game Shark in our controller, and we're going to do a couple cheats, and when we get it back to where we need it to be, with our PCOs, with restricting sales, then we'll let you go. I mean, when you truly think about what the fuck happened, and then the fact that people, I mean, think about it. How many people are still playing the stock market every single day, even knowing that they got cheated, and they don't care? They're pissed, but yeah, they're mad about it, but at the same time, they're like, oh, fuck it. How many of you, if your buddy, you're hanging out with your friend, and let's say one of your buddies bet you $100, put it down on the ground, and you beat their ass, or you're just about to win, there's 1 second left, and he pulled the 100 back, and he shut the game off, and then comes back to you and says, all right, dude, that game didn't count, let's play another one for the same $100. What are you going to do? Are you going to play the fucking game again with them? Are you going to go tell him to fuck himself, demand your money? That's basically the same situation, but people are still fucking playing. It's that the shit is ridiculous. They've literally told you in this report, you guys won. You were right. Like I said, the one thing I want people out of all this fucking frustration from this report to take out of this is the fact that they told you, every single one of our DDs, every single one of you guys that thought we should have done this and this is what should have happened, they told you you were right. Your conviction should go to 100% after this report, and we should be fucking, I don't even know what we should do at this point. Like I said, this is beyond in fucking sanity that they were allowed to get away with this and nothing's happened to them. This is worse than that fucking freak and all the Sex Island people not going to prison. This is that much of an equivalent, and it's like nobody gives a fuck. The Doge isn't coming in. Nobody's doing anything. We have the biggest financial terrorist in history, Ken Griffin, walking around, these bank CEOs walking around, and no one gives a fuck. Like I said, at what point can we just go, all right, fuck this, we got some citizen arrests to make. We got more data than anyone needs. Problem is, as we find out, like I said, this country is so fucked up. You got blue collar, and white collar crime. So even when we get it all where we need to be, they'll get fucking charged less than what we would. And guess what? They got the judges on their side. So super fucking cool. What a fucking joke, man. Like, this is why I say to people, like, man, people, it's like, you gotta realize these fucking companies, these corporations, they have more power than any king has ever had. They have more power than any fucking empire, anything you've ever heard about or read about in these history books. They have more power than all of them probably combined. The Romans, all of them. They couldn't even touch half of these fucking people. Amazon, all this stuff. I mean, Christ, you guys, think about this. Disney was its own government. You had a corporation who was its own fucking government inside of our country. People are like, what do you mean? Disney was a fucking government. Disney, it was able to self-govern themselves. What? What? Like I said, these fucking BlackRock might as well be our government. Like I said, man, this dark money hit $1 billion. Think about that. For the first time in history, look at that. And they got proof of it everywhere. There you go. Look at that. That is fucking unreal, you guys. 660. Okay, let me explain something to you. Everybody sits there. Here's the numbers right in front of you. Look at the screen. Everybody sits there and goes, why do politicians go ahead and fucking spend $1 million, $2 million? Why would they spend $3-4 million to get a job that pays $250K? Because in the back end, on the shit you don't see, $660 million went to these fucking political groups in dark money. So you don't even know who the fuck gave it to them. Like I said, this shit is fucking insane. They tell you, you guys, you fucking decide these elections. You guys decide. You get the vote. You get to say. You get this. You got a voice. You get this. But in reality, no, we don't. These fucking, you can see literally every time if you watch the dark money over the years on each election, the dark money has won every time. I hope you guys have noticed that pattern. Everybody says thinks you've won, but then when you go back and look at the money, the dark money on who won each election and who had more, guess what? That fucking president won every fucking time. And guess what? Let's even look at the bottom here. I bet you fucking it'll show you down here what I bet it'll show you who they got what. Here you go. Dark money. Democrats got over $500 million. Republicans got $250 million. And now you guys can go and sit there and say whatever you want, look at whatever you want. Like I said, I have no political poll which way or another. I don't give a fuck about any of them. They're all pieces of shit. And until you realize they're all pieces of shit, I'm going to keep showing you data that shows they're pieces of shit, every one of them. Every one of you guys that go, I'm red or blue, until I can get that out of your head, man, you're never going to wake up about it. Like I said, go back over the years. I guarantee you if you... I was like, maybe they'll even show it down here. So here's all the groups. Just fucking cash, dude. Cash, dude. And then on top of that, you just had Ken Griffin. He spent $50 million in fucking Illinois and lost because he's a piece of shit. Like I said, the amount of money that is going around through politicians and then people act like, and then you got, oh man, here's the problem. I work in fucking coding. I work in all this shit, man. I know how software works. I know how this shit works. You got all these voting machines and all this stuff, and even in billions. I mean, you can rig a fucking voting machine so easy it's not even funny. And in the end of the day, guess what, you guys? Who controls the mainstream media? Oh, yeah. The people that would rig the election. Oh, they control the media? No way. So what are they going to say? Whatever they need you to hear. And what are people going to do? Whatever the fuck the mainstream media says must be right. So even when they showed you there was fucking election rigging in certain aspects and proofed, people still were like, yeah, whatever. You're just lying because you want to get the Republicans and you're CNN. No, you're just Fox News and you're trying to fucking... No, there's corruption everywhere. You think there's just corruption in the stock market and there's not corruption in the voting process? You're fucking stoned. Like I said, I can write you a fucking voting program and I can make it say, hey, push this button. And in reality, it'll push the other button. It's that easy. I mean, it takes 2 seconds. I said, man, look at the money. Everybody always says, follow the money. Follow the money. Exactly right. Always follow the money. It tells a tale that never lies. I promise you. People lie. People lie. Money trails don't. Ever. Money trails will never be wrong. Exactly, man. Corruption is fucking everywhere, Carl. That is what the United States has become. Like I told you, man, when you have these bankers, who the fuck was it? Credit Suisse just got. When you have bankers that can sit here and do whatever the fuck they want. When you have bankers that can just cocaine, do whatever they want with coke, do whatever they want with sex, fucking gross, pederast island, disgusting. That shit where people should be fucking hungover, dude. And what are they doing? They're living their lives like it didn't even fucking happen. They paid money to make the list go away. Tell me right now, in what scenario? Let's say there was a fucking group of I don't even know how many these fucking nasty freaks went to this island. Let's pretend there's a group of 10 fucking normal citizens, and they were having some sex fucking paid land in not an island, in a building with kids. What the fuck do you think would happen to those people? Is there in any scenario in the world, think about this, is there any scenario in the world where you don't know those 10 fucking names, but we don't know the names of people that made an island to do this? That is so fucking insanely disgusting and fucked up, dude. If that's not something that we need to know the names over, I don't know what the fuck is, like, what is going on in this world? Like I said, and why is this possible? Because you have white and blue collar crimes. And it's just retarded. And yeah, and then this girl who is fucking sitting here. I mean, think about how fucked up this is. You have this girl who is recruiting fucking girls and children and whatever the fuck they're doing there, and she only gets 20 years in prison. And then you have a fucking guy who grew a plant of marijuana in his house, his own house. He took a plant that grew out in nature. It's not like man created marijuana. We didn't just fucking grow it in a lab one day. And no, it was out in the fucking earth. All man did was fucking perfect it. So you're telling me this naturally grown plant that was there before us, some guy grows it in his basement and he needs to get fucking 25 to life. Like I told you guys before, the war on drugs was not, when you know the bankers are the ones bringing in the drugs, it's no longer a war on drugs. It's a war on your citizens. It's a war on races. It was a way to also keep the wealth gap down. It's a way to... Oh, man, dude. Like I said, when you truly look at all of this situation and you realize these things, these laws they pass, and they make it sound like, oh, man, this is for you guys. And then people literally go, oh, God, this is great. This is for our best interest. We literally had the Hitler Ministry of Truth, you guys. We had the Hitler Ministry of Truth not even a month or two ago. It was in existence in the United States. Think of how fucked up that is. Somebody was going to sit there, and you saw this girl. The girl was a fucking nutcase. She's sitting there singing a song about how she can change information to however she wants it to be. She's singing about it like a fucking lunatic. And this chick's going to tell me what's real and what's not. And if I don't believe it, I get fucking censored by the Ministry of Truth. Like, whoa, dude. Like I said, like, what the fuck is going on in the United States? Man, it's just, like I said, this shit is unfucking believable. We need to fucking, like I said, we got to take these stands. And like I said, I know it doesn't seem like a lot when we do direct ordering, when we do these certain steps, getting out of these ISDA banks. If you have their credit cards, you paying off that credit card is the best thing you can fucking do for yourself, because A, you're getting crushed on interest that you cannot afford to fucking have with the way rates are right now and with inflation. I'm telling you right now, you cannot be living off fucking credit cards and all this stuff. You're going to get so fucked in the long run, it's not worth it. And number two, they're just using all that fucking shit you owe, all the interest they're going to keep making off it, they're repackaging that shit, and they're reselling it and using that against you. It's... The way the system is set up is to literally make you enslaved through debt. And if you don't believe me, here you go. There are two ways to conquer and enslave a nation. One is by the sword, the other is by debt. all you need to do is make it to where somebody owes you money forever and they can never get out of it, and you control their life because they always have that feeling that they owe you. But guess what? Now I'll make it to where you can't retire, because as I showed you guys, if you're 35 and you're listening, if you're 40 right now and you're listening, what are you going to do when it's time to retire and you don't have Social Security? You don't have these benefits that you think are going to be there. What are you going to do now? You're 55 or you're 60 and you have medicine now you need to start taking, because trust me, you're going to work yourself to fucking death. You're going to work till you're 80 to 90 just so you can afford these medications that you don't even know what the fuck's even in these medications, just looking at the vaccine and all this other stuff. You think that these pills, like I said, it's like, look at the harsh reality of, and even in the medical field. If you guys look at the reality of the medical field and how these prices came to be, this is a true fucking story. Google it. Read it. Google this shit. Correct me. Because it's fucking real, and I've read about this a whole bunch of times. When the fucking medical industry was first created, okay? There was no guidelines, you know what I mean? There was no like to when they were going to set prices. There was no guidelines. There was nowhere to look at and be like, all right, this should be around this. This should be around this. This should be about this, okay? So there was nothing they could go off. So what they did is they asked these certain people in the industry, some of the top people, you guys name these prices, blah, 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 and then we'll approve the budget, blah, blah, all that shit, okay? Those people that they put in charge literally were fucking hammered, fucking around, and they put these prices down as a joke because they knew it wouldn't get fucking passed. And we passed it anyways. And we gave them all the fucking money and the grants and everything to go ahead and go get it all going. The medical industry is the biggest fucking crock of shit in the entire planet. It's literally a fucking joke. Medical supplies, it was a joke what they started out as, to where they were putting shit up, they upmarked it like 1,000 times, thinking there was no way they would fucking do this. And we said yes to everything. Because it's all about the dollar, and that's what you find out. You heard this growing up. We are a capitalist society. What does that really mean in the end of the day? Well, that means money is power. And you're now realizing firsthand what a capitalist society is. Money is fucking power. You can get away with crime. You can get away with whatever the hell you want to do. Why? Because you can just pay someone to look the other way. And if you can't pay that guy, you can get a new retrial. You can do whatever you want. And you can find somebody you can pay to get out of it. I said this. It's truly, when you look behind the curtain at how fucking much they can control us through debt is truly insane. Because they have you staring at your debt, focusing on your debt, worrying about that, worrying about Roe versus Wade. Now, did you guys see what they're doing? Now they want to come after gay people's rights. I don't know if you guys saw that today. The Supreme Court comes out and they said they're going to talk about gay people's rights next. They want to start taking those away. Here you go. And I told you the day, what was it, 2 months ago, I told everybody when abortion and gun control and all that shit started being talked about, and I told you guys, everyone who's gay, you are next. And I promise you, within the next month, they're coming after fucking you. They are going to continuously, you guys, I'm telling you, they're going to take from you little by little by little by little. They're going to see which certain things they can take away and what they can push, what they can't push. The reason that, like I've shown you guys before, there was 40 school shootings before that massive one. And none of them were really, you never heard about any of them. And all of a sudden you heard about that one school shooting and they go, hey, we need to fucking get your guns. But they see the reaction. And if you guys haven't noticed, every single presidency, they always kind of talk about a little bit of gun control. They always kind of push that issue, kind of like, hey, can we test that water? Or what happens if we test that water? Are they going to get mad? Is that the thing they'll revolt? Because to this day, I promise you, if they go after the guns, that's going to be the one thing that you're going to have these fucking people down south that are going to use their guns before they lose their guns. You're going to have, and they know that that's going to be something that will blow up. But they can sit there and what I told you they'd like to do. We're going to go ahead and get them against each other. We're going to make it red versus blue. We're going to make gay people. Now you got the people that don't like gay people. So now you're going to have those people versus these people. Now what's it going to be again? Oh, marriage is a sacred thing between a man and a woman. That's what you're going to hear. Back to the churchies. There's always the counter argument. There's always that go-to, you guys. Fuck, they're figuring this out. Let's hit black people. Let's hit gay people. Let's hit women now. Abortions. Let's hit other things that we know are major key issues. Abortion, all these things, gay rights. None of this should even be possible, you guys. As I'm sitting here talking about this, we're the fucking United States. Rights, period, should never be touched. Fucking period. Thomas, yes, those pretty much end up in the warehouse, the warehouse fires. Look up Iron Mountain Data Facility. Thomas, look at Iron Mountain Data Facility. You will see about 49 fires in the last 12 years, and every one of them was involved with banking documentation. So, but like I was saying that day, because like so many people got mad at me about the Roe versus Wade thing with the abortion, and I go, here's your distraction. And people lost these rights. That's not what I meant by it. Of course it's a fucking tragedy, and I cannot believe that it could even, I can't even comprehend the fact that they would do that. Start going after rights and shit like this. You got Biden. Oh, the United States, it's the greatest fucking the economy's ever been. I'm the best president. He's over here giving himself a fucking hand job on how great the economy is. Meanwhile, inflation's worse than it's ever been. You have people's rights being taken away. For the first time in how long? You have all these people that are so pro-Democrat going, oh man, you see he's a piece of shit president, but just because he's fucking blue, you will defend that fucking piece of shit till you die. And you know what that guy would do for you? Nothing. You know what he'll do for you? He will lie for you. Like I showed you guys yesterday. He said in his tweet before he got elected, I will never do blame. I will never make it about me. I will make sure that you guys know that I'm in the office representing you. And then what the fuck does he say today? What does Joey B come out and say today? Here you go. Let's go ahead and show you. Comes out and says, this was my favorite thing today. I was fucking cracking up in this fucking piece of shit. Like I said, everyone's there, oh, he must be a pro-Trumper. Trump's a fucking piece of shit too. They're all doing illegal garbage crap. They're all fucking tool bags. But Joey B's a special kind. Like I said, if Trump was in office right now doing these exact same things, I would be saying the same thing about Trump. Because they're all fucking retards. Guess what? Joey B says, expect to pay higher taxes as long as it takes. I worry about the American people. Well, Mr. Joey Biden, if you worry about the American people, why are you raising our taxes and saying, fuck it, they'll pay it. They got it. We'll do whatever it takes. And then within the same breath, not even 5 fucking minutes later, really? Biden to give an additional $800 million. So guess where that additional fucking tax raise you guys just did went? Guess where it just went? He just says he's going to raise your taxes. And guess where it's going? To Ukraine. And then you got these people. But Biggums, don't you watch CNN? CNN says we need to stop the superpower of Russia. Okay. First of all, that money that's going to Ukraine, you fucking clowns, did you look where it's gone? Do you think it went to the troops? Do you think he got that money from us and goes,
Let's buy more tanks with this. Nope. I'm not even going to tell you where it went. I'm going to let you guys Google because I'm going to let people do some things on their own and learn and go, holy shit. If you think I am wrong right now about this Ukraine war, if you think every time we send them money, it's needed, I want you to take 2 minutes out of your life, Google where that money's went, and go to the breakdown on where that money's going to. And you tell me they needed all that money. You come back and you tell me they needed that money, and we will go back and forth in this DM, and I promise you, you will lose. If you do not believe that they are money laundering to fucking Ukraine, you are naive and you watch CNN and Fox News, and that is your main source of fucking information. And you need to change that. Like I said, you guys, none of these fuckers give a fuck about you, but they will sit there and make you give a shit about their agendas when it has nothing to do with you specifically. Like I said, you have people that have left this video because I brought up Ukraine, and they're like, oh my God, he's an idiot because, and guess what? I promise you, not one of them fucking looked or to this day knows where that money went. I guarantee you, not one of them knows where a single penny of that was spent. But I do, because I look at stuff. Like I said, I look at every penny because that tells me the story that they're not telling me. Always follow the fucking money, dude. When you guys go ahead, at the end of the stream, we'll go ahead and talk about where this money went. But until then, I'm going to let people Google a little bit and be like, what the fuck? Like I said, it is a joke. This country is a joke. They do not need to be doing what they're doing. They're trying to gouge you. Like I said to every one of you, the biggest enemy of the 1%, the biggest enemy of these politicians that you guys love and defend so much, you know who their biggest enemy is? You. If you're in the middle class, you are, because you're their competition. You're the people that have the chance, the small chance, to get up into the upper class. That means you might become part of their competition to their businesses, and they can't have that. So if you think that they like the middle class, go ahead and ask what's happened to the middle class over the last 14 years. They do any and every possible thing they can do to put more and more pressure, more and more taxes, more and more this, more and more inflation, more and more burden on who? Always the middle class. Always. Like I said, if your main, exactly, man, if your main source is, if you literally wake up every day and you turn on CNN or you turn on fucking Fox News, I want you to do yourself a favor tomorrow, okay? Because you're gonna turn it on tomorrow anyways, right? Take 10 minutes now. I want you to watch 5 minutes of Fox News, okay? And then I want you to, after that, flip over to fucking CNN, okay? And they're gonna talk about the same goddamn subject. And you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna say the exact fucking opposite of the other one, no matter what the facts are. Which tells you, no matter what now, what are the real facts? The fact that you can watch the news and the news is going to report to you a story, and at the end of that, you don't know what the facts are about the story, should tell you all you need to know about mainstream media. If these guys say it's one thing and I could turn on the next channel right under it and they're just as credited as yours are, but they say the complete opposite, who the fuck's right? Listen, it is truly ridiculous if you think about what we don't fucking know. What we'll never know. Jerome Powell one day, like I said, the day I fucking knew we were going to be fucked and this was going to be a lot harder, and I realized just truly how little they give a fuck about us, man. When he was talking about, he's come out and talking about inflation and everything. Man, he's just a piece of shit. Like I said, the fucking feds, dude, they do not care at all about us. I want everybody to just realize they are an independent fucking company. But, man, 1 second here. Sorry, my dogs. I'm looking at my dog again here. but jump out the bed. But Paul was talking about inflation and everything, and God damn it, I lost my train of thought. Sorry. I can't remember what he fucking said now. God damn it. So I'm gonna move on for a second. I'll come back to this when I remember here. Sorry, I'm super tired. I only slept for an hour and a half last night. But like I said, man, if when we finally pull back that curtain and you look at it and you realize truly how fucking little they give a fuck about you, it's truly sad, man. It truly is. We pretty much let the banking mafia take over, and a lot of people ask me about a lot of shit, and it's like I don't know the answers to a lot of these things, like other than buy and hold. I don't know what to do when the people who should be arresting people that commit crimes don't arrest them, but instead they arrest me for telling on them. Do you know what I mean? How is AIM gonna squeeze? It's gonna squeeze because of these three things. Because these are three things that will not be monitored by the United States alone. These things will be monitored worldwide. And that's when it becomes a massive deal. It will be monitored worldwide, my friend. And guess who's getting fucked over by the same people we are? Hedge funds, market makers, family offices, banks are fucking over companies, you guys, worldwide. And guess what? Worldwide, their governments are getting fucking sick of it. So they need to start having an audit system, track it. Like I said, it's not just us anymore, you guys. It's not just the 1% versus the 99. You now have world governments getting involved. It's us and world governments finally taking on the corrupt pile of shits. Like I said, these corporations we're not supposed to have monopolies. But they fucking make monopolies look like like I said, startup companies. What these corporate empires have become, what these monopolies have become, is unreal. Like I said, there's just at some point, like I said, there's not much we can do other than they need to pay us. If they don't pay us, eventually we all need to say, all right, go fuck yourselves. We're all gonna have to do it. Bite the bullet and get the fuck out of the stock market. Maybe I'm not saying sell your AMC, sell your GameStop, hold that shit, but don't put any more in. Here's my point, and people are gonna go, what? Think about it for a second. Just think about it for a second. And I know that there's people out there that make money and blah blah. Okay, good for you. But you need to fucking look at the bigger picture. If you truly give a fuck, how do you make if they don't pay us? You say, all right, you fucking pieces of shit, we're gonna fucking leave. We're gonna only have our shit in AMC and GameStop or whatever meme stop, whatever stock you're fucking holding. I'm not saying go take a massive ass loss, but if we realize it's a Ponzi scheme, okay? How do Ponzi schemes die? Ponzi schemes die when you can no longer pay Peter. You can't rob Peter to pay Paul anymore. When Peter walks away from the game, when Peter's not there to steal from Paul and pay to Paul, guess who has to pay Paul? You do. If retail leaves, they have no one else to fucking play with but themselves. When rich people start losing money to other rich people, regulations change very fast. I promise you that. They cannot afford to lose the integrity of the market, and if they need to, they already should have. This right here, this report right here, the U.S. stock market's integrity is gone. You guys now need to look at this We're not in a stock market. That thing you learned about in school, that everything you've known about the stock market from this report, before this report came out, forget it. It's wrong. This report shows you they can do what they want. It's a video game. It's not a stock market. It's a video game. It's a video game or a casino that they control. Period. As fucking stupid as it is, they can shut it off. It literally, like I said, it's called game stopped. They just stopped the fucking game. Yeah, exactly. 401ks, guys. If you want me to start getting into 401ks, if you're in a 401k, where's my fucking alarm going off? If you're in a 401k, my wife had a 401k, and I made her fucking roll that over into IRA. Fuck that, dude. They're gonna get your shit. Classified. Let's not be a little spammy. Dropping M-bombs. Let's just not do that. You're gonna get a little kick skis. Alright. But, like I said, man. Alright. This guy's gotta go. Alright. Sorry about that, chat. Fucking clowns. Alright. But at this point, like I said, I just... We gotta open our eyes to the corruption. And it's so fucking deep. And it's so fucking frustrating and stupid and annoying as fuck. But like I said, we got to take these steps now. It's no longer, like I said, it's not the stock market we all thought we were playing in. It's a fucking rigged game beyond fucking belief. So either they pay us, we need to get the fuck out. At some point, you guys need to sit there and truly ask yourself, look deep inside of you and say, if this isn't something to revolt on, I'm not saying let's go do it, but at some point you need to say, what the fuck is? Think about what is happening. I'm going to do a 4-second fucking review on what is happening to you. You have banks and the government who want to do CBDCs. They want to crash the dollar. They want to be in control of your money. They want to know every cent you, the $600 thing. They want to know every fucking penny you make. They want to get rid of the dollar, make it digital. Why? So then if you're a drug dealer, they now know. No more side money. If you want to go ahead and go do mow lawns and do that and make other side cash, little side jobs. If you want to have a garage sale, they can deny everyone who comes to your garage sale. They want to have 1,000% control of your money. You have the government telling you, I need to have a war on drugs. I need to have a war on my citizens. When your government is the one giving you guys the drugs. They're bringing it in by 20 tons. They're bringing it in by the tons. Tons. JP Morgan got caught with one boat. How many boats came through that week? How many boats came through that year? Credit Suisse, all these fucking cocksuckers are running cocaine. Why? Because they're all fucking doing it. They're all snorting the coke. So they go, we can't fucking pay. Just like you guys, how do rich people fucking stay rich? They never spend their money. And this is what the government's doing. This is what these fuckers are doing. Not only are you, not like I said, they know who the fucking biggest drug dealers in the world are, but they don't care because they're paying them off to look the other way. And then they have the audacity to fucking arrest citizens, destroy their lives because they have a fucking bag of fucking, oh my god, you had a fucking, I don't know, I don't do coke or anything, so I don't know what the fucking honest to God comes in. I'm thinking fucking whatever the smallest, a gram, whatever, something like that, small thing. I don't know what you would buy, but you have a small fucking, you know, you could have a little pinch, like, all right, a tablespoon. Let's just say you have like a small tablespoon of coke or something. Your life is fucking changed and altered forever. ever. It's a felony. But these guys, think about this. Look at this. They brought in 20 tons of coke. They should be in jail forever. And you know what happened? JP Morgan got fined. They fined the business. They didn't even give a shit about the people who brought it over and are working with the drug dealers. It was they put it to the business and they like just wrote it off. And in other words, that means the bank, the clients of the bank, the customers of the bank paid the fine for them to bring the coke over. What the fuck is happening? It's just like in the stock market. They steal $1 billion, but they pay a $25 million fine to do it. And who pays the fine? We fucking do. The people that they stole it from. They just take it out of what they fucking stole and keep the rest. Like I said, you guys, they have the greatest scheme in the world going on. We have criminals that can steal using your money to steal from you. What the fuck? They don't even have to use their own shit anymore. They're stealing from you with your stuff. With your stuff. How is that possible? They make you pay for their crimes. You pay for them to steal from you. Think about that. And I mean, in every aspect of life, they charge you to do it. Whether it's through taxes, whether it's through fucking inflation, through any of these things, you're paying for it. Whether it's through, I stole $1 billion through the stock market, you guys pay my small fine, we keep the rest. You will pay for it. Just like I said a little bit ago. How do they stay rich? You will pay for their entire life. They will never spend a penny out of theirs. And now you know how the rich 1%, they gain wealth at such a rapid pace. Because they will never spend a penny that belongs to them. The fact that shorting, think about it, you guys. What is shorting? In reality, we never knew about this stuff. So think about this. They told you guys, what did they tell you? You need money. Work hard. I need you to work. You got to work. This is what they tell you. And then you find out what they did. They say to you, you need to work 40 hours a week. You need to go to a bank and get a loan. That you got to have a great credit score. Now you have to get approved by that bank. You need to have a full-time job. I need to see fucking 4 months of your paychecks. And it better have 40 hours a week on every fucking one of these. I need to know you're enslaved into the system. When I know you're in your proper place, ant, when you're in your proper place, the grasshopper will give you a couple seeds to eat. And then you find out what they do. Think about what shorting is. You basically come up with money out of nowhere. What do? They go, well, I can create money out of fucking thin air. I can create short sales. And instead of paying a bank, think about this. What do? We have to pay these banks fucking 18%, 15 fucking percent on our loans. All this astronomical shit on our loans. What do they have to pay? They open up a short sale and it's 0.01% fee. So they can create money out of thin air, sell the shorts when they make the profit they need to buy the item they need. We paid for the items they needed, so they didn't even get a loan. And if they need to wait a little bit longer, maybe a couple months to get to their number, it costs them 0.01 to do it, while it costed us fucking 18% instead. Because we didn't know that we could make money out of thin air through a short sale. We didn't know we could sell stock that we didn't own, because that's what selling, that is what exactly what they said. The SEC came out and said the definition is selling something you don't own. It's selling stock you don't own. Well, I didn't know if I needed a loan. I could just say, well, I don't need to go get a loan. I can sell some stock that I don't fucking own, and then that will pay for it, and I won't need to cover As long as I can stay under this small fucking margin. Well, guess what? If I'm in the boyfriend club, if I'm in here giving all these regulators and these brokers hand jobs, they'll let me get away with $10 billion. So, in other words, basically, Robinhood and Citadel must be given the best hand jobs out there because they paid $10 billion for it. See what I'm saying? It's truly unbelievable. And that's why I say the whole system that they taught you in school, people are like, what do you mean? The system they taught you in school is to do nothing but make sure that you're stuck in your place in life through debt. Because how can they control you? Conquer and enslave a nation by debt. What do you mean by that, Bigums? Well, let's sit here and see. They enslaved you through student loans, did they not? They fucked your life up. They fucked people's life up so bad through student loans. They had to forgive how many of those loans? People are still pushing them to forgive loans right now. Are they not? Do you see how fucking insane that is? You need to go get this fucking degree to get this job. And then I showed you last night when I talked about my job. I don't have that fucking fancy degree. I didn't get that computer science degree. I just showed him my new coding. I just wrote fucking code in front of him. And guess how I learned that code? I fucking went on Google and learned wrote, how do I write SQL code over and over and over? And I learned more and more and more, just like I did with this. And that was it. And guess what? I didn't go get my computer science degree. I didn't go spend fucking $80,000 on a computer science degree. But the people that I got the job over, they did. How many of them are working now in that computer industry? Because I can tell you right now, the computer industry, the coding industry, ask anyone. The turnover rate is fucking ridiculous. They fire people up the ass. They don't give a fuck. If you're going to ask for a raise, they'll just fire you and bring in a brand new coder, and they don't give a fuck. You are the most expendable person in the world if you're in the coding industry. And if you're listening, I'm right, and you probably sat there and looked around your fucking office every year. I'm serious. Every 6 months, I look around, and half my fucking office is different. It is truly insane. Well, yeah, and then they have the thing, and that's the thing. We're supposed to celebrate our country. If you are against the country, you're a bad person. People have left my chat now thinking I'm a piece of shit or I'm some fucking, oh, this guy's he's a psycho. He's a psycho. He fucking hates the United States. He's a fucking psychotic freak. I keep getting called, he's a fucking socialist. This dude's a socialist. I'm a socialist because I want the fucking country to be ran the way that it was supposed to. I'm a socialist because I found out that the fucking bank runs the country. I'm a socialist because I know what the hell dark money is. And I realize dark money over the last 4 elections has picked the winner, not us. And like I said, go back and look. The data's right in front of you. I'm a fucking socialist because I see the biggest drug dealers in the world are banks, but yet they do a war on terror or war on drugs, so they have any right to come and fuck you guys up and keep you in line? No, I'm just showing you the reality. I'm showing you behind the fucking curtain, and that's it. If politicians gave a fuck about you like they're supposed to because it's a public service job, trust me, I love this country. Or my favorite. Here's my favorite. Here's my absolute favorite. This is the stupidest fucking thing people say to me. And I mean period. Every time somebody says this to me, I'm like, you're a fucking moron. So you're going to excuse criminality when you say, well, Bigums, go live somewhere else. It's way worse. Okay. So because it's worse in other countries, I'm supposed to just say, hey, go ahead, bankers. Go ahead, politicians. Go ahead, steal all of our wealth. Steal my son's future. My son here, fuck him. Who cares? This little guy, he doesn't need to retire. Fuck him. Why would I worry about him, you know? Fuck him. He can go fuck himself, and he can work and be an enslaved to the one percenter when he grows up, and we can continuously have this fucking cycle. And he can go to middle school, learn how to be indebted by, and you need the college degree. Well, guess what? You got to get a house, which is at five. You guys, the average fucking house is $500,000. So now you need $500,000 to have a fucking house. Well, okay. How the fuck are you supposed to do that when you got inflation going up at 8.65% and my wage rates are going up at 2%? So if I'm losing money I'm working harder, but I'm getting a raise, but in reality, I'm losing more money every year. Or not every year, well, until they fucking get their heads out of their ass on inflation. But I've already shown you they made special brand new credit default swaps. They made their new special fucking credit default swaps. And what do you know? They started trading on their new special credit default swaps off inflation, and they're making billions off their credit default swaps. They don't want inflation to go away. They want to squeeze us out. Why do they want to squeeze us out? Because AMC and GameStop are, what did I tell you? You're their biggest enemy in the world because you have the ability to become them. What is GameStop and AMC? It's your golden ticket to become one of them. Not only is it your golden ticket to become one of them, it's your golden ticket to take their spot. Because when this goes the MOAS, they're going to be broke as fuck. And guess what? They're going to be down at the bottom. They're going to do whatever the fuck they can because the Federal Reserve and the government doesn't fucking give a shit. They're in on it helping them. And until our government's out, they're going to keep doing their bullshit. You got Goldman and Sachs fucking loving an inflation bet. Like I said, it's whatever they got to do. It's whatever they got to do. They make up brand new fucking things. You got the SFTs. Whatever they need. And that's what I'm saying. Even with all this bullshit, buy and holding is going to fuck them. Because like I said, when these three things come into play, they can't hide this from the entire world, my friends. Because the entire rest of the world has the same access to the same data they do. So when these three things go live, literally every hedge fund, every banker, every family office, and every market maker can suck my balls because you're going to get fucked so hard, and I can't wait. And I'm just fucking waiting, dude. Like I said, TikTok. So I tell you guys, don't watch the line every day. Just go have fun in life, man. Relax. Don't let this stress come into your relationship. Don't bring it home. Don't bring it to your job. Don't get so furious with this play. Every fucking penny raise, every week it didn't go up. Why aren't we trading at $20? Why are we at 13 still? Who gives a fuck? If the stock was at $20, you'd be just going, oh, why the fuck they're not at 30 right now? Who gives a fuck? Are you going to sell it at 30? No? Then who cares? Until it moasses, sweet. You guys should be fucking jacked up. AMC's on discount for fucking months? Sweet. Guess what? They also dig in the hole for those couple months more and more and more. They're literally giving you guys the opportunity to fill up at fucking $13. AMC fundamentally, like I said, is completely changing around. They're doing something. I can't even imagine how much more changes they're going to make by the end of next year, by the end of this year. AMC is going to be around $30 regardless of a squeeze. So I'm sitting here like, regardless, long, fuck them. Like I said, they can blow me, dude. I'm not ever going to get rid of these shares, and I'm just going to keep buying more. Fuck them. Why am I going to put my money in a bank account? Why am I going to put my money in a fucking savings account and all this shit where they're just going to fuck me and give me 0.03% interest rate and then use my money to fuck me everywhere else. No, thank you. You can fucking blow me too. These bankers are all pieces of shit. Like I said, it's us versus them, man. Fuck the banks. Fuck the politicians. You guys gotta realize, fuck the politicians. Fuck red, fuck blue. None of them give a fuck about you. I don't say that to be funny. It's reality. It's what behind the curtain shows you. It's what the data shows you. It's what Joey B, all you Democraters right now, it's what Joey Biden just said. He will never hurt you, but I just showed you in 2 fucking tweets. I will never fucking hurt you guys. I love you to death, and it's not about me. Boom. We're going to pay higher taxes as long as it takes. We know, Joe, because that doesn't hurt you in the 1%ers. We got to keep throwing more money over to the Ukraine. We know, Joe. That's why we need to pay more fucking shit. And then what are you going to do? Again, you're going to say the same shit. Fucking Putin. It's Putin's fault. No, it's your fault for sending over money, which once again wasn't going to the proper fucking place, because if it would have went to the proper place in the first place, you wouldn't have needed more and more and more. But like I said, all you listening, all you little Joe Biden lovers here, no, it went to great stuff. It stopped the superpower of Russia. Look up the fucking reports and tell me where the money went. Like I said, we'll get there at the end of this, right before I end this. It did not go to where the fuck it should have went, even fucking close, dude. It didn't go to stop the superpowers. It didn't stop the superpowers. So, no matter what your CNN told you, it didn't stop the superpowers. There's fucking data. There's reports that show it didn't. I don't care what your fucking... Guess what? Charles Gasparino says stocks are going to go a certain way. He's in the media. So, whatever fucking CNN, I don't even know. I can't even, honest to God, I have never in my fucking life sat down, and I'm not lying. I have never in my life turned on Fox News. I've never in my life turned on CNN. I can't tell you what a single fucking reporter's name is. I can't even tell you what they look like. I have, honest to God, never even turned it on my fucking TV in my entire life. Why? Because they're fucking retarded pieces of trash. And by the age of fucking 12, I realized I would hear my dad scream and bitch about politics, just rant and rave on how he would sit there and say, well, what the fuck? He's a fucking hard Democrat. He just loves his Democrats, thinks they're just God's gift to the earth. And all Republicans just want fucking these corporate empires to succeed. But no, guess what? They both do. If they didn't, you know how I know that they both do? If they didn't, dark money. You guys, this is fucking not, this isn't us spending this money. Those corporate empires that you guys think that fucking Joey B hates, they spent almost $500 million to help him get elected. Why do you think they did that? Oh, because it's in their best interest. Joey B is the most clueless fucking individual in the history of life, dude. They know they can pull a fast one over on this guy and he's going to turn on. The guy's too old to be in office. Why do we have dinosaurs as a president? Why do we have dinosaurs in the Supreme Court? Every one of them's a fucking 100-year-olds. Think about this. Let's take 2 seconds here to truly think about how fucked up this is. All right. Supreme fucking Court. All right. These are the fucking people who determine pretty much everything, okay? Now, let's look at these fuckers' ages. The average age, where the fuck are we at here? It's ridiculous. What the hell? Their average, okay, here you go. You got a 74-year-old. We're fucking tired, dude. What are you doing? 74 years. Now, people sit there and think about that. And minus 70 fucking 4 years from today, and think about her time period, or what the fuck's that? Clarence. Think about Mr. Clarence's fucking, his time period growing up. The guy probably can't even work an iPhone. He probably has to call his grandkids in to help him with his cell phone. But that fucking guy has the ability to say to a woman she can or cannot do whatever. This 74-year-old fucking man, think about when he was growing up. What was the views on gay people? Was it positive fucking 74 years ago? Fuck no. So you have grandpas coming in here. You have dinosaurs fucking going look at this. 67-year-old grandpa. 72-year-old grandpa. 68-year-old grandma. 62-year-old grandma. The average age should not be 60 fucking 3 years old. 63 years ago. Like I said, think about the time period. Now think about these guys' fucking attitude. You see what I'm saying? They're literally, average age is the age of retirement. But they're all grandpas deciding all of our shit. If you're over 50, you shouldn't be allowed to be on this. 50 years old. This is a massive problem with our government. Look at a picture of our government. It's all grandpas. Nancy Pelosi. Across the board. It's fucking grandpas. What are you guys doing? They can't even fucking turn on iPads. They can't even fucking... I don't even know if Joe Biden can fucking feed himself. But they can run our country? The fact we don't have term limits. Dude, look at Congress. I want you guys to watch. You think this is fucking crazy? You think this is bad? Watch this. The average age of fucking senators is 63 years old. The age of retirement is 64 years old. So you have people that should be retired, relaxing in their old folks' home, fucking getting the TV dinners brought to them. They're our world leaders. They're deciding everything. They're the people that look at us on the street and they fucking hate everyone that isn't a certain type of person. Because that's the age that they were fucking that, and that's who's making our rules, our laws. Do you truly think they give a fuck about you? Do you truly think that if you're black, transgender, do you think that anything? Do you think that they care about you or that, or do you think that they use that against you? Because in that time period, that was wrong. That's my point. And if you think that I'm wrong, ask women. Ask gay rights right fucking here. Now we dividing over age? Scott, grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up. Yeah, we're dividing over fucking age. If you cannot see that the age of a person matters, what are we even going to have this debate on? You're going to talk to me right now and you're going to say that a 63-year-old has the best mind, the best interest, he's up to date on how the world works now. That's the best candidate, right? Let's have this debate, Scott. Am I wrong? And tell me how. Don't give a stance on politics. Cassius, this is my point right there, buddy. It fucking matters. Guess why? They're fucking you in the stock market. If you don't think politicians matter in the stock market, you are not paying attention at all. Politicians are 1,000% involved in this, and not only are they 1,000% involved in it, you guys sit there and think that I tell you guys how fucked up the DTCC is and the bankers. They're above them. The only people that are above the DTCC and all this, the politicians, the Doge. Guess who controls the Doge? Like I said, man, you cannot sit there and oh man, this gets me uncomfortable. We're talking about politics. And then leave. Okay, fine, do it. Go back to being a fucking sheep. Go back to your pen. Make no fucking changes and go, he was wrong about everything. And then as you keep getting fucked in the ass, and as I continuously show you a bottle of lube to help the fucking pain, just keep telling me no. That's fine. I don't care. You're the one that's taking it, dude, not me. But one day you'll wake up. Because this is ridiculous, dude. And then for people, like I said, politics. Like I said, politics, they should not be something that inside the word alone gets your blood going. The word alone gets you ready to defend anything. Because they don't defend you. Why the fuck do you defend them? Like I said, man, this shit's fucking ridiculous. I've never seen people who've been robbed stick up for the person who robbed them. But I see it every day with politics. I see it every fucking day, 1,000 times a day. This guy just robbed me, but it's cool. He's got my best interest at heart. He's good for me. He's good for me. He's not the other guy that would have done the same fucking thing. You see what I'm saying? It's truly unreal, dude. Like I said, I've never seen. They have you guys so fucking. It's insane, dude. Like you look at this fucking quote, and it's truly fucking so real. It's so real, man. It is so ridiculous, and it's right in front of people's faces. But people go, "Well, that makes me uncomfortable. I don't want to deal with it." When I even brought up the word revolution, people left. When I brought up the word revolution, there's people that go, "He's fucking crazy. There's no way." Okay. Once again, your government is taxing you without representing you. Not only are they taxing you without representing you, they're taxing you from stealing from you. The banks who are stealing from you in the stock market, the reason we are here today, they're the biggest criminals in the entire country, and no one gives a fuck. You guys want to know who's on that list? It's all these bankers. Who else is that? It's bankers and politicians. That's who's on this list of the island. Why do you think it won't come out? Volt Bank in Australia is no big deal. Volt Bank in Australia will do absolutely nothing. All that was clickbait, dude. It was 1000% clickbait. I can't find my I have way too many fucking windows open. Man, I'm not even going to get into the Australian Volt Bank right now. But trust me, that Volt Bank was nothing but people blowing it up because it has nothing to do with any of this stuff. It was a bank that tried to get into mortgages in the worst time, and it lost. I mean, I'm not saying, man, maybe there's a 63-year-old out there, and he's out there and he has the best interest in mind and heart, and he's up to date on everything, but it's none of the politicians we have now. Sorry. Like I said, man, people want to argue with me, age shouldn't matter. The fuck it shouldn't, dude. No, when you're at 63 years old, my mom has horrible memory. Man, shit happens, dude. You've seen Biden walk up and try and fucking shake people's hands when they weren't even there, dude. It's crazy. But I don't know. Like I said, we gotta fucking Bernie Sanders. Bernie, man, he's one of the only ones that he says what it is, but at the same time, Bernie's out there doing some fucking illegal, shady shit too. He acts like he doesn't take his cut, but he takes his shit too. And like I said, that's the problem. No matter what, they made it to where dark money can do whatever the fuck it wants. And like, to us, think about this. To me and you listening right now, we will look at a job of like a politician. They make $250,000. A lot of us are gonna be like, holy shit, you know what I mean? Like, that to me, I would be like, damn, 250K. That's a sick job. I would run for that kind of money to improve the world. These fucking type of people that are in this shit, they look at $250,000 and they wipe their ass with it, and that's why they take these bribes and all this other shit. Because that 250,000 doesn't mean anything when they can make an illegal 10 million fucking voting against us. But like I said, you got the feds, man. Fucking A, man. It's gonna be an uphill battle, that's for sure. But like I said, no matter what, we are gonna win when these three rules and these regulations start coming in. This is our saving grace. This is the one thing other than buy and hold that they cannot stop. So like I said, this is going to be the one regulation. These are going to be the three regulations for the first time since you have owned the stock that will not be regulated by just the United States. So there's no way out. All right, I told myself I was going to bed at 1. I got to wake up at fucking 6 to work. I'm going to go to bed. I at least got to get about 3 hours in tonight. So thank you all for listening. Appreciate it. I'll try and get on maybe tomorrow. I'm going to make a video on just a couple things where I'm not going or ranting about stuff, where I just do what I used to do in my first videos, where I'll go over a couple rulings, show you what it does, and that's it. We'll get back to the old roots here. I just like going live more, man. I like interacting with people. At least I know you're learning, or at least if people have questions, I can help then during that time. Otherwise, it's like, I feel like a lot of times I put a video out and people will watch a minute of it and be like, oh, it's over. Fuck this. I don't know what he's talking about. So I like to go live a little bit more. But, alright, guys. Hope y'all have a good night. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys tomorrow, bright and early.